AB Advanced Decoder has been designed to work in 3 different modes. First, you have the speaker mode, in which you can decode an ambisonic signal to any speaker layout, all the way from 1 speaker to 64 speakers. Additionally, you have the spots mode, in which you can use our beamforming algorithm to create beams of audio. And finally, you have the auto mode, in which the plugin is automatically steering the signal towards where the source of the sound is coming from. In this video, we're going to talk about the speaker mode and how it can help you decode your ambisonic signals in your DAW. So here I have a very simple project. As you can see, as soon as you insert AB Advanced Decoder, you have your plugin loaded with 1 speaker, meaning that this signal is now gonna be decoded into a mono speaker layout. But before being decoded, there is something very important, and that is that AB Advanced Decoder comes with an upscaler included that happens on the fly internally, so that it doesn't matter what Ambisonic's order is coming in, it's always upscaled to 7th order. You can choose to disable this upscaler if you want by simply clicking on this button. So when you disable it, the decoder is going to decode the signal as is, but when you enable it, it's going to upscale it to 7th order before decoding it. Check it out. If it is being disabled, you will see that the AB Advanced Decoder visualizer will detect a 3rd order ambisonic signal. But as I enable the upscaler, you will see that it will increase to 7th order, and you will see also the visualizer is going to become more detailed. So this is a great way to increase the resolution of your signal before it is being decoded. And the cool thing about this is that it's always upscaled to 7th order, no matter your DAW. Even if you're working in Logic or in Pro Tools Studio or in Nuendo 14, where you only have up to 4th order, this plugin is always upscaling internally to 7th order before decoding your signal, which is a great advantage. So as we were saying, as you insert the plugin, you have a 1 speaker decoding layout, but let's just say that you want to add an extra speaker. So you have here your first channel, which is on, you can see it green. And if you go to the 2nd channel and you enable it, you will see that now you have a 2nd speaker. And to place this speaker, all you have to do is simply drag it somewhere on your screen. And as you drag it, AB Advanced Decoder is going to calculate on the fly what the best way of decoding this ambisonic signal is depending on your speaker layout. It's really cool because everything happens on the fly, so you can hear the changes happening as you move the speakers. Another way to place the speakers is to simply input the values of the azimuth and elevation in the boxes. So you can select speaker 1, place it somewhere, and then speaker 2, place it somewhere, and just like that, you create a custom speaker array. So check out how this happens on the fly. So you can see that as I move either of the speakers, everything happens on the fly, everything is being recalculated on the fly, and you will always be hearing to the whole signal being decoded to these 2 speakers. So let's just create a stereo speaker layout. I'm just going to create a negative 90 azimuth for speaker 1 and 0 elevation, and a 90 azimuth and 0 elevation for speaker 2. And like that, I have created a stereo speaker layout, which will emulate more or less a headphones layout, because each of the speakers is 90 plus and minus 90 degrees from my front center. So if I press play, this is your stereo layout. And it works really, really well, because not only is it decoding to the speakers I have given it, but I am also upscaling it to 7th order. There are other controls that you can manipulate per channel. For example, here you have a solo and a mute button so that you can monitor each of the channels. It's really convenient whenever you want to just solo 1 channel or mute 1 channel so that you can monitor what's going on in your signal. And then you have an independent gain control, which is going to help you manipulate the loudness of either of the channels. So these are the per channel controls. And here you see that you have 16 channels. You can decode up to 64 channels as long as your DAW supports it. But this visualization here is only showing you 16 channels. If you click here, it's going to show you 32 channels. And if you click again, it's going to show you 64 channels. Now, these decoding channels depend on the width of the track. This track is 16 channels. So if I go to channel 16, you can see that the 16th channel is selected. But if I go to channel 17th, you can see that it says not available. That is because this track is 16 channel width. So if I wanted to decode to 32 or to 64 channels, all I will have to do is simply make this track 64 channels. And just like that, you can see that if I select channel 17 again, you have 17, or even if I go to channel 64, you have 64, and you can enable it, and now you have 64 speakers. Right now you cannot hear that because this is YouTube, you only have 2 channels in YouTube, but if I were to press play, you can see that the channel 64 exists here because I am already decoding, right? So this is a great way to create custom speaker arrays, but the best part is that you can save these presets so that you can load them in other computers or in other DAWs. So as you create a speaker layout that satisfies your studio or wherever your venue is, you can simply save these presets, and then you can remember this preset and reload it whenever you come back to the specific studio or venue. And here you have your presets. We have created a bunch of presets here that adapt to the most typical speaker layouts from the most typical DAWs, but as you can see, you can very easily create new presets. You can manipulate the existing presets, you can save them, you can share them, you can exchange them between machines. So in comparison to our AB decoder, when you have a fixed amount of speaker layouts, here you can have an infinite amount of speaker layouts, whatever goes between 1 channel to 64 channels. Okay, so let's explore other properties of AB Advanced Decoder. Aside of these per channel properties that we have talked about, you also have LFE assignments. From channels 3 to 64, you can assign any channel to go to the LFE. By setting a channel in LFE mode, you are ensuring that the calculation of the decoding is skipping that channel because the LFE channel is omnidirectional and you're sending the whole omnidirectional signal to that channel. So if we were here to select channel 3 and enable it, if I set it to LFE, you can see that here this channel becomes blue and the LFE label appears. The LFE label is not a button, it just means that 1 channel or more are LFE. It's just a guidance so that you can see that there is an LFE present. You can have more than 1 LFE channels, you can have 2, you can have 60 LFE channels if that's what you desire, or you can simply disable the LFEs. So when a channel is set as LFE, it's going to become blue and the decoding algorithm is going to have into account that this is an LFE channel, and if you disable the LFE assignment, it's going to become back to green. Additionally, an LFE channel cannot be placed anywhere. You cannot change the azimuth or the elevation because it's omnidirectional. Additional to these per channel controls, you also have R-pass filters. You have a low pass filter and a high pass filter per channel. This means that you can control a frequency pass filter in either of the channels so that you can narrow down the frequency window that is passing through that channel. So for example, here, if I were in my LFE channel, obviously I would like to have a low pass enabled, and I would like to have that to be in about, I don't know, 120 Hertz. So like that, I make sure that this channel is cutting everything above 120 Hertz, thus ensuring that my LFE is not getting the whole signal, it's just getting the bass. You can also put an 80 pass, or you can do anything all the way from 20 to 20,000 Hertz. And the same with our high pass. We can, let me just close this channel. We can use a high pass so that we can high pass whatever signal is happening through a speaker. Check it out. So it's a really convenient way of manipulating the frequency response of either of the channels. And finally, we have our spatial gate. Our spatial gate is global, meaning that once you enable it, it's going to be enabled for all the channels. And it's really cool because it ensures that if a sound is outside the range of whatever is happening in your 3-dimensional sphere, is below that range, it's being skipped. This is a great way to filter out unwanted sounds. If, for example, the weight of the sound is on the left part and you enable the gate, the right part is not going to decode to lower volumes and instead is simply just going to skip it. The range sets the tolerance at which all these sounds are being filtered, and the lag sets how fast you want these filters to happen. So let me just go back again to here. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so you see here that the weight of the signal right now in this little part is here in the front. So imagine that I put this speaker here and this speaker here on the back. If I press play, both speakers are going to be decoded. And you can see that the weight is on the left because this is where the front center is. And if I enable the gate and press play again, you can see now that the gate is filtering whatever sound is below this range for channel 2, which is lower in volume. So it's a really handy tool. Now let's explore AB Advanced Decoder in a Dolby Atmos mix. So I have loaded here a fully fledged Dolby Atmos mix, and let me start by saying that if you want a complete analysis of what I did here for this mix, you can watch the spots video in which I am analyzing how I used our beamforming algorithm to isolate either of the drums parts. Here we're going to talk about AB Advanced Decoder as a speaker layout decoder. So for that, I'm just going to solo our drums part, which is where I'm decoding our Ambisonic signal to a 916 object, which is this part. So if I load the panner, you can see here that I am decoding to a 916 track. And then I am sending this to my drums object, which is a 916 object, right? Let's just imagine that I wanted to decode to a different speaker layout. So I'm going to add an imaginary layout as a group track. So let's just imagine that I wanted to do, for example, I don't know, like an Auro 13.1. And I'm sending it to my standard bed. And if I go to my track here and open it, you can see that now this is an Auro 13.1. So if I were to send my track to the Auro track, which is this track, I'm gonna send it to my Auro track. You can see now that the names of the speakers have changed, and that is because I was sending this to a 916 layout, and now I'm sending it to a 13.1 Auro layout. So I have to change the layout of my speakers. I can either place the speakers wherever Nuendo is telling me where the speakers are, or I can load the preset that is assigned to my Auro 13.1. So as soon as I do that, you will see that now I'm using the 14 channels that I need for the 13.1 because the channel 4 is an LFE. And if I solo it and press play, you can see that even though this is not an Auro setup and I am decoding from a renderer Dolby Atmos to stereo, I am sending every single speaker to my Auro layout. And just like that, I can simply decode to another layout. Let's just imagine that I want to add a 22.2 layout as a group track, which is the largest layout that Nuendo supports. And now I'm going to send my drums to this layout. And now I have to select my preset that goes to this layout, which is the 22.2 preset. And you can see here that now I have my 22.2 spheric preset loaded. And if I open the panel, you can see that here you have all the speakers of the 22.2, and here you have all the speakers. And everything will simply work if I solo this track. So everything works really well. The 22.2 means that there are two LFEs, and the LFEs for Nuendo are in channel 4. You can see that it's set as an LFE because it's blue, and channel 19, you can see that it's set as LFE because it's blue, and you are getting the name of the channels that Nuendo is informing AB Advanced Decoder. So whenever you click on a channel, you can see that you get the name of the channels that Nuendo is setting for you. And you can see here that you have also the names of the channels. And like that, you can decode any Ambisonic signal, working always in 7th order Ambisonics, if you wish, to whatever speaker layout, from 1 speaker all the way to 64 speakers. Finally, you can also run this decoder in light mode so that you free a little bit of CPU power in case you have an older machine or using many AB Advanced Decoder instances. Or you can set it to work in monitor mode. In monitor mode, AB Advanced Decoder will work with 0 latency. However, mind that your CPU is going to be a little bit heavier in the processing power. However, if you have a good machine, if you have a powerful enough machine, you can work in monitor mode. Well, this is AB Advanced Decoder. I really hope you like this plugin. If you wish to see how this plugin works in spot mode or in auto mode, you can watch the extra 2 videos. And if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. My name is Alejandro, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers!